Hello and welcome to Newsela, Beyond the Signups. I'm Anna McEvely and I teach 7th and 8th grade reading in Elgin School District U46 in Illinois. So we're going to talk about some of the great things that you can use Newsela for in your classroom. I'm assuming that you already have signed up with your subscription and you've already created classes and your kids are about to enroll in your classes. So we're going to talk about how to use it and some of the great features that Newsela can offer to us. So the first thing I want to talk about is I just opened up an article here. This one happens to be an article about an issue about should we have zoos or not. And there's a variety of articles, which we'll get into in a little bit, of where to find different articles, but I just want to pull one up here first to kind of show you the idea of what Newsela is all about. So if you look over here on the column, on the blue bar over here on the right side, there's 5 different levels, lexile levels, of how this article is written. So I consider this the beauty of Newsela. When I talk about Newsela with people, I talk about Newsela having beauty and magic. And this is the beauty of Newsela, is that they take an article that was written, and this one happens to be written by Shana Orens. Sometimes they often come from newspapers, a variety of sources where they get their information from. And then what the Newsela staff does is they rewrite the article in 4 different levels so that it is appropriate for a variety of readers. All right. So that's the beauty of Newsela, is that they take the time to write the same information in 4 different levels so that we have a total of 5 different levels of the article. So if we look at the article here at the max, the article is very long, very complex. The sentence structures are much longer. There's a lot of advanced information in the article. And if I click down just to the lowest level, just for comparison to the 630 Lexile, and I look at that article, it significantly reduces the number of words in a sentence, the number of words in a paragraph, and just kind of gets to the gist of the article for someone who is reading at a lower level such as that. And it does notate here for me that this is grade level 3, how many words are in the word count, just so that I know that for a little more further information. So that's the beauty of Newsela, is that you won't find this anywhere else, is having the same information written at 5 different levels. All right, and then what I consider the magic of Newsela is what Newsela is going to do as the students continue to read articles and take questions in the quiz down here. Newsela is going to adapt to the students' ability. So the more the students answer correctly, the higher they're going to be presented with a different level of article. So as the students continue to get the answers correct, the students are prompted with a higher level the next time they log into the system. As the students get questions incorrect, then they all of a sudden start being presented with a lower level reading, just so that Newsela is always finding the correct level that's appropriate for students. Not too hard and not too easy. All right, so let me open up a couple things here, and just so you can kind of see the quiz for a second. Now, I'm logged in as a teacher, so of course it's showing me all the 4 answers across the top. The students obviously aren't going to see that, but there are questions that the students have to answer, and each question, there's 4 questions for each article, and each level, the questions do get increasingly more challenging as the article gets more challenging. So the questions are not the same for every level. All right, so the students obviously are not going to have the answers up here again. They're going to have the questions. They have to choose the correct answer and move on to the next one. The students do get immediate feedback. They know exactly how many they have correct and incorrect, and that data is all stored, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. But what I want to take you to next is to show you how you can search for articles. There are so many articles and that reach across a variety of content. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over into the news. I like to show the news first because that is where it's very current events and there's a lot of different topics. So for example, if I hover over War and Peace, it's going to show me the latest articles that Newsela has put into their system and rewritten into those 5 levels for topics that are in War and Peace. If I hover over money, the same idea. These topics are in the money category. I can go to kids, I can go to science when I'm starting to reach into all the other disciplines. There's law for social studies. There's health for PE and health. There's arts for our arts classes. There's sports. There's opinion. That any teacher can use any of these. And as a reading teacher, I find myself using from a variety of these topics. I don't just stay into one different spot, but teachers can kind of go in and find different articles in there that are interesting for their kids. So if I'm just going to do an example here, we're going to go into kids for a second, and I'm going to click on kids, and I just want to show you that how many articles there are in Newsela. I don't even know if we know the total. I'd be interested to know. It's probably in the thousands, if not tens of thousands of articles that are available. So as I'm going into kids, it's going to show me all the articles that are available in the 5 different levels that are in the kids category. So if I scroll down, these are the newest ones. I can look and see the dates when they were published. And it seems to be about every other day in the kids, every third day, there's a new article coming into kids. I believe Newsela publishes 4 new articles a day across the board. If I scroll down and I keep scrolling, it's going to populate more and more new articles for me, and I can continue scrolling until I can't scroll anymore. And there are a ton of articles here, and the articles never go away. They do stay. So sometimes you can go back and find an article from a couple of years ago. But for right now, we're just going to look at these ones here. And I'm going to bring your attention over here to on this side, the gray panel over here. I can also sort further if I want to find an article specific, maybe something specific to older kids, something for juniors and seniors. I want to click on juniors and seniors if that's what I happen to teach. And I know that my juniors and seniors, if I was teaching them, I really wanted to talk about arguments and claims. So I might come down here and click on argument and claim, and I want to narrow down my choices to these articles that would be appropriate for 11th and 12th grade topics and also appropriate for teaching arguments and claims. If that's what we've been working on, we can talk about these articles. And I know that these articles are going to give me good information and good material for me to help teach these kids about arguments and claims. So rather than having to go through the internet and scour for hours and read a variety of articles and trying to decide, does this article help me teach argument and claim? Newsela does that for us. That's also a little bit of the beauty of Newsela, is they do that hard work for us as teachers. So we can just click in here what it is that we want to talk about, what we need to teach, and we can find our topic. Let's say I wanted to go into maybe a 4th grade. I'm going to click on 4th grade up here, and maybe I'm going to go click on central idea because I'm working with central ideas with my 4th graders. I'm going to click off my 11th and 12th graders. So I have 4th graders highlighted here, and I also have central idea highlighted. So all of these articles in the kids topics are generally appropriate for 4th graders. They'll be interested in this kind of information, and these articles help me teach the central idea. So I've narrowed down my choices from the incredible amount of information that's out there on the internet and other sources to be able to say, okay, these 12 articles here are going to be great for me to teach 4th graders about central idea. So it really helps to narrow that down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take a step over here into the library. I was in the news. That's where I found the kids. I do spend time in there, but I do spend time in all the other articles too. So if I step over here to the library, this library is not as much current events, but it's more primary resources, documents, information that is good for kids to know, but not going to be a current event that you're going to find on the front page of a newspaper maybe. So here in the library, I have information about arts and culture. There is science and math, and these are new information, but it's information that is not always going to be always on the front page of the newspaper. So if I'm talking about government, I'm teaching government. I have definitely some good articles to look in there. Geography, world history, there's U.S. history, and then I can also come down here to primary sources. I can also look at biographies. There's famous speeches. Also, we have some new information here about issue spotlight, dream jobs, myths and legends. Okay, And I'm going to stop here in a second and come back to you in my part 2.